Hello friends, welcome back to A Knitter's Life, my little corner where tea and happiness and a little bit of craziness meet all together. Oh my, it feels like a different lifetime that I'm joining you now, but really it's just the beginning of summer. It seems so much has happened between the last time I podcasted and now, different change of pace, and I feel like the end of school can be the end of May, that time can be so crazy. You feel like you're on a freight train going at the speed of a bullet train, and things are rattling and shaking, and then you enter summer and things slow down. So I am now at the beginning of summer and things have delightfully begun to slow down, which is really, really good. I hope I can keep up that pace for the rest of the summer. We shall see. We are just back, my little family and I are just back from a tiny little trip that we took up north to Michigan. Last year I had this feeling right after school ended that we just all needed to get away and just escape for a few days to kind of hit the reset button and to enter summer a little more slowly. So this year we decided to go ahead and plan it. So we booked a little cottage. This little cottage was so adorable. It was amongst, you took blueberry, these old country roads lined with blueberry fields. It's Michigan after all, out to this really cute lakeside community where these old summer cottages were, and so it was just 12 miles outside of South Haven. So we would go in every day to South Haven and to the beach there. There's a bookstore that we all love. There's a knitting shop that I love. There's a pizza shop that sells gluten-free pizza, and there's a new coffee shop in town that we found. Our old one had closed, so that was okay. We were excited about the new one. It was a cookie shop that had coffee too, so the boys got cookies and we got coffee. And it has a fantastic farmer's market on Saturday, so we did that. I happened to get sick while we were up there, but it didn't spoil the fun at all. I mean, you can be sick and on a beach and be quite fine. In fact, I thought it was quite good for my cold because it helps me, I think, get over it a little bit faster, all that sun. But if I'm a bit croaky today, that's why. The cold has definitely gone to my chest and bit croaky. So we'll see. I have a cup of tea. This is some lovely tea. Blue Mountain Blend. It's a black tea of yummy herbs and flowers, sent to me by Emma, dear Emma in Australia. So thank you so much. It's quite delicious. There's a nice flavor of lemongrass that comes through with the flowers and the black tea. So I drink mine with a little bit of milk. It tastes very good. But, well, you guys have done a superb job with the Raindrops KAL. Oh my goodness. All the beautiful raindrop shawls that you have finished and started. Most of you have finished. It's been so fun to see in the Ravelry thread. I did go ahead and lock that down since the knit-along ended, and I drew some prizes. Are we excited? Yes, we are. So I drew ahead of time because I knew I'd get too distracted. And the first number that came up was 13. So it's Bubby Mom 77. And then 85 was the next number. Dana Ray 19. And Dana Ray, I saw your shawl finished and it is gorgeous. So well done you. So what I have for you guys are 2 project bags made by me out of Old and Lovely Things. Both project bags are embroidered with daisies and bluettes. So we have 2 project bags. So each of you will get a project bag. This one looks like this. And a package of mini skeins. So the pink one and this greenish one are yarns that I dyed, and then the dark purple one and the gray are just some leftovers that I had. So Bubby Mom 77, contact me, and Dana Ray, contact me with your addresses, and I will get those project bags and mini skeins off to you, and you can start using them for the summer. For the next knit along that we're in the midst of, which is so much fun, it's the Miss Marple knit along. And for those of you who are new, the Miss Marple knit along is our summer knit along. And it's kind of fun because it's actually really quite relaxed. All you have to do is knit and either watch a Miss Marple. The bare minimum is just watch one Miss Marple. That's all you have to do. And tell us which one you watched. When you post your progress picture on Ravelry or on Instagram, tell us which Miss Marple you either watched or which book that you're reading. And Miss Marple is a character by Agatha Christie, and I'm sure most of you know who Agatha Christie is. I was reading some of the books that I got out for this knit along. She's one of my favorite authors, Agatha Christie. I like her because of her perspective on people. I love books that are filled with characters because that's life. So I think that's why I'm drawn to Agatha Christie books, because she liked people and looked at them as characters as well. I got this book. I had never seen it before. This is called The Life and Times of Miss Marple. Sorry, Miss Jane Marple. This lady, Anne Hart, it's written by Anne Hart, she did a kind of like a biography, if you will, of this fictional character, Miss Marple. And it's quite fun to see. She talks about what the village was like. She even draws up a little sketch. And she takes us all from just scouring all the different short stories and books that Agatha Christie wrote with Miss Marple in them. So here is her depiction of the village. And here is Miss Marple's house in the center of the village, as you can see. So she's well placed to see everything. It's a fun read. It's very quick and easy to read. So I've been reading it as I fall asleep at night. And I've been really, really enjoying it. So I would highly recommend that. This, of course, counts. And then the other book that I've been reading is Murder is Easy. This is it's an Agatha Christie. I don't think this one is a Miss Marple, so technically it doesn't count. But I'm going to get, maybe this one is. No, this isn't. But this is just, I was just curious about this, this one. So I picked it up. I was reading about the author. Agatha Christie is the most widely published author of all time in any language, outsold only by the Bible and Shakespeare. So if you haven't read an Agatha Christie, what's wrong with you? No, honestly, there's so many books today that are so good, but her books have sold more than 1 billion copies in English and another 1 billion in 100 foreign languages. She is the author of 80 crime novels and short story collections, 19 plays, 2 memoirs, and 6 novels written under the name of Mary Westmacott. I did not know about the 2 memoirs, so I am going to try to hunt those down because I'd really like to read Agatha Christie's memoirs. But anyways, she of course wrote Hercule Poirot, those stories first, but then she started writing Miss Marple stories, and she says that she likes Miss Marple much better than Hercule Poirot, which I think is hysterical. I like them both, so I'm not going to start that argument. But her first novel of Miss Marple, she started with short stories of Miss Marple, but her first novel of Miss Marple was published in 1930. That was even earlier than I thought. I would thought it was the 1940s, but it is. It's the 1930s. So, and that one is The Murder in the Vicarage. So, I think that it would be helpful if I listed a list in the Ravelry thread of the Miss Marple mysteries, because I think that would just help us. So I'm going to try to do that in the Ravelry thread if I remember. And then, anyways, that will help us. I do think that one of my favorite ones of the Miss Marple mysteries is the 450 from Paddington. And I love the rendition that Geraldine McEwen does in her in the TV series. By the way, I found that on YouTube there's a channel, it's a British channel I think, called Acorn TV. So A-C-O-R-N, acorn, as in the little nut. And you can have, it's $5 a month for a subscription, but they offer a free 1-month trial. So, did I say the biggest part? They have all of the Miss Marples. Well, most of them. I don't think they have the ones with Joan Hickson in them. So they don't have all of them. But they have a good quantity of Miss Marple TV shows. So you can head over to, this is totally unpaid. Like I just found this out and I was so excited because I'm going to go sign up for the 1-month free trial so that I can binge watch some Miss Marples while we're doing this knit along. Yeah, it's free for a month, and then you just have to remember to go back in and unsubscribe before they start billing you. So that's what I plan on doing, because it's summertime and it's knitting time and it's fun, relaxing time. So I'm going to be watching some Miss Marples on Acorn TV over on that channel and doing this knit along. So I know that a few of you have had a hard time finding the TV show. They don't have it anymore on Netflix, which is such a disappointment. But anyways, not everything is on Netflix. One of the things that I did do, and I forgot to get it, you've probably seen it already. It's the image that I have at the header of the Miss Marple knit along. I asked my mom to do it. A little postcard. Yes, I know, people, I want to do another postcard. I said I wasn't going to do a postcard, send out more postcards over the summer because it just was too busy. I'm starting to eat my own words because it's too much fun. I wanted to do a postcard for the Miss Marple knit along because I thought it'd be so much fun if we had a postcard and we could put our postcard in each of our pictures when we do our, when we take them for our Miss Marple knit along and to post in the thread or on Instagram. Are you shouting at me? I know. You're either shouting, you're crazy, don't do it, or you're shouting, yeah, let's do it. So this is what I decided. I am going to do postcards for the Miss Marple knit along. And my mom did this image of something that I thought was quintessentially Miss Marple, which was her big carpet bag. Because whenever she goes off to solve a mystery, she has her carpet bag, which of course has her knitting in it. So she did a little watercolor of the carpet bag that is shown in the Geraldine McEwen version of the Miss Marple TV show. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the postcards printed with the stuff that I usually write a note on each one. That's what takes so long. The address doesn't take very long, but I usually I like writing to you guys. And usually you have written something nice to me when you send your address, so I like writing back. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have it pre-printed, and then I'll just write out your address, and that will help me just over the summer contain the busyness, but still have fun and still enable you guys to have fun. So the postcards haven't arrived in the mail, but they will soon. So you can start sending me your address if you want a Miss Marple postcard. and we'll start letting the fun begin because we have until August 31st for this knit along, so we have time. Anyways, I know, but it's fun, right? The postcard really helps us feel like a community, I feel like, especially in our pictures, because we take these pictures, we put them on Instagram, and that kind of ties us all together, so it's a lot of fun. Anyways, I know I'm crazy, but I'm doing it, I think. So, since the Miss Marple bag was kind of, I don't know, the image that I conjured up with this knit along. And by the way, you can knit anything in this knit along because Miss Marple knit everything and anything. I decided to I fell in love with Crafternoon Treats in her podcast. And if you haven't seen her podcast, you do need to go watch it. It's a crochet podcast, but she does it so well. And I do like to crochet, that it's so fun and enjoyable to watch. I think that if you don't crochet, I think that you'd enjoy it too. And by the end of it, I bet you'll want to try it. But she has some lovely tutorials over there. And one of the things that she has been doing is fat bottom bags. Now, doesn't that sound delightful? One of the things I thought, oh, that's so me. I'm a fat bottom bag. But I thought they were so cute and so whimsical and so country chic that I wanted to try. So I found this yarn, bright yarn, and each skein was $1.30. So I think the whole project cost me like $7. Now you can't turn that down, can you? So I decided to do my own version of her fat bottom bag. And so far I have my giant square. I did all the granny squares and I did the edging around it, and now I need to line it and make the pockets and then gather it up. So if you want to see what I mean, you can head over to her channel and I'll give you the links below and see her talk about her fat bottom bag. So it won't look exactly like the carpet bag. It won't be like that, but it will be my own version of the Miss Marple carpet bag, i.e. a fat bottom bag, and it will be for my summer knitting. Probably I'll get it done by the end of fall, but no, fingers crossed. We're gonna get this done. So I think I'm going to line it with some of this lovely fabric that I have over here that I got from Crimson Tate, and I can't decide which. Either this orange and pink, something like that, or I don't think the yellow now that I'm looking. Well, the yellow does. No, wrong color yellow. Let's do the orange and pink. I think those would be really cute together. So that's the next project that I have to do. So yes. Yeah, my crafting eyes are often bigger than my time, but that's okay. I did have one thing I wanted to show you. This goes back to the Raindrops knit along. I do have a Raindrops finished, and this is the Raindrops that I was doing with a Leading Men Fiber Arts yarn that I got at the Fiber Festival that was back in April that they were at, and I loved it. This just used one skein, and I think I have I'll try to list exactly the colorway, and it was their Showstopper base. I love it. I used a larger needle size and then just did fewer repetitions of the yarn over 4 section. So I love it. It is going to be for my mom for her birthday. So it was supposed to be for Mother's Day, but I didn't make that happen. So it'll be for her birthday, which is next month, and it'll be perfect. I don't think she has a robin's egg blue shawl that I've made her, so that will be perfect for her. So I do have one more Raindrops on the needles, and it is turning out very, very lovely. I know this is a whip, but you know me. Darlings, do I ever follow a script? I try. I don't succeed. Why bother? Anyways, this is one that I'm doing out of Ancient Art Yarns. I love their yarn. This is one of their new bases. It's called Reinvent. And it has mohair, silk, nylon, wool. It has everything in it. It almost is like a kitchen sink yarn. So it's going to bloom quite a bit because of that mohair in there. And it has weight to it because of the mohair. So it's going to drape really, really well. And it has a sheen to it, which is so pretty. So I am working on that and almost done with that one. That is in the colorway Mineral. It's very pretty. So what else? I forgot something. So it's a good time for a break. Go get some more tea. And I'll be back. Did you get yourself some more tea? There was no pause for you, I know. But Kramer Yarn sent over a skein of a new summer yarn that they have. It's called Belfast Linen. You can see it's a linen cotton blend. And usually working with linen feels fairly rough on your hands, and you hate the whole process the whole time. But because it's blended with cotton, and cotton is really nice and soft to work on, it has the feel of cotton rather than the linen, but it has the drape and look of linen, which is quite amazing. So I think it's a really brilliant yarn concept that they came up with, and I really enjoyed working with it. At first I thought I was going to make the bodice to a little girl's dress, but I realized that the yarn probably wouldn't come in time. So I made the little girl's dress for my niece back in April out of a different yarn, and when this came, I was swatching with it, and then I realized what I wanted to do. I wanted to make doilies for my table. And as soon as I started doing it, I just fell in love with it. So I made two. One skein, it was a 100-gram skein, and it made two. And this is Crochet, and I used the concepts that are in this lovely book, Crochet Home by Emma Lamb. And I would highly recommend this book. This book is so lovely. It has some beautiful projects. Look at this. Just absolutely gorgeous crochet throw. They're very unique and very different. And very enjoyable. So this is definitely a book that I'm going to keep going back to and making projects out of. It's unlike, I did purchase it because I couldn't bear to not be without it. It's that good. So I made these two doilies, and I have them. One is in my kitchen and the other one is in the living room. I love doilies, but I don't have the patience to do the tiny little doilies with a tiny little thread yarn. That is the traditional way to do doilies. So I love this idea of taking, this is I would say it's actually a light worsted. I think the yarn weight was a DK, but when I blocked it, that did bloom. So I would call it a light worsted. And they go so much quicker, and they're just so fun. And then you have these pretty little things to put around your house that are just take an hour or 3 hours to whip up. So I loved it. They blocked out beautifully, and I put them under flower arrangements. I always have, now that it's summertime, there's always something from the garden inside on my kitchen table and in the living room. So this you can put a candle on top, or a flower arrangement, or put it on a tea tray and line a tea tray with it. It's just a fun, whimsical way. And the Belfast linen was just a great summer look, I thought. So this was in the natural colorway. I'll put the color number in the show notes so that you can see. But that was a lot of fun. Highly recommended. Both the book and the yarn, and doing doilies with the yarn, because it was a lot of fun. And they're very durable. You can wash it too because of the linen cotton blend. I think there's a little bit of acrylic in there too. So that was fun. And the book was a ton of fun. Okay, so some other finished objects, guys. Oh my, I forgot to show you this, and I forgot to block this. This is my Georgia cardigan. It's so dark, isn't it? It's like a midnight navy. This is my Georgia cardigan by Jane Richmond, and it's a sock weight cardigan. That's a true cardigan. You know, it has a true cardigan front, and it has a delightful little gather detail right here, which you can't see because it's just too dark. But I really wanted a navy blue cardigan, and I had this yarn in my stash forever. I think the last 6 years, maybe 8, maybe even 8, to make a navy blue cardigan, a sock weight cardigan out of it. So I finally did it. It's Malabrigo, and I think the colorway was Côte d'Azur. I do have some yarn left over, so what I am going to do, I'm going to block it out because it has quite a bit of stretch in it, and I want to see the length and how the length falls on me, and I might make it longer, and I might add some short rows to the back hem because I kind of like that little detail. So that's the next thing. But I got the sleeves done. I was so happy. It was a good feeling. So yeah, but I forgot to show you, and I forgot to block it. I tell ya, May is just crazy. I did finish little socks for John. And see what happened? I ran out of yarn at the toe. So I was going to try to find a yarn. This is yarn that I hand dyed, so I couldn't just go to a store and get some more of it. But I thought, at first I was going to find something that matched it, kind of. But then I thought, why? There's flecks of orange in the yarn, so why not just take that and run with it? And so I did one little contrasting toe, and I think he's gonna think it's fun to have a secret toe. So I finished those for him. They're just plain vanilla 2x2 ribs with his measurements and my garter stitch heel that I do. So short row garter stitch heel, and I do have a tutorial on that on the channel, so you can see that. The other thing that I did finish was a pair of, well, you might not call this finished. I didn't have my needle and scissors with me when I was finishing it up, so I couldn't draw the ends through, but I finished a pair of socks. My mom saw this colorway. Remember, I knit a tiny pair of socks for Arthur out of it? So while I was knitting that, my mom saw the colorway and she loved it, so I made her a pair of vanilla socks with the garter stitch short row heel. And I did kind of a modified version of, a normal toe. It's kind of like a star toe and a rounded toe in one. I don't know, I was just playing around, being silly, I suppose. But as you can see, it just needs to be cut and drawn through the last few stitches and ends woven in. So it's almost finished. Not quite. This yarn is Shawl, and oh, the color number. There, that's the color number. 902. So it's wool and nylon blend. It was a lot of fun to knit, I will say. I loved all the messy colors. So that's going to go in the box for Christmas socks because I am trying to get ahead. all the sock knitting that has to be done right around Christmas time can be quite overwhelming. Well, I'm knitting a shawl. I'm knitting quite a few shawls actually, but some of them are secret shawls, which I can't tell you about until later, which will be exciting. Very exciting. But this one I can tell you about, and this one I can show you. This is for the Miss Marple Knit Along. It's in one of my crazy fairy bags, made out of old and beautiful things. And I don't have a ton to show you except garter stitch. Isn't it pretty? This is the Waiting for Rain shawl, and I'm using, oh my goodness, the most amazing yarn. This is yarn that was gifted to me for my birthday. Mrs. Crosby Loves to Play, in the color Wildflowers. This honestly should be called Watercolors, not Wildflowers, because it looks like watercolors, doesn't it? Oh, it's so pretty. It is superwash wool, merino wool, silk, and cashmere. It's gorgeous. So it's not a true MCN because it's an MCS. There you go. An MCS, merino cashmere silk. But it's really pretty. The Waiting for Rain shawl is a fun shawl. It's garter stitch and then short rows of lace. Oh, it's so pretty. So it has these little opening sections of lace. And this is my fun shawl that I'm knitting just for fun. Let's see, this picture shows it very well. But we'll hide other parts because it is a paper pattern, and deservedly so. Do you see that? The little pops of lace that it has worked in short rows. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I'm really enjoying it. And the yarn is absolutely to die for to work with. It's so soft and buttery and silky. So it's my treat knitting. And it's part of the Miss Marple Knit Along because it's a shawl. And Miss Marple knit shawls, and Miss Marple wore shawls. So it counts. So if you're knitting a shawl, you can be part of the knit along too. You can double dip on this knit along too. So if you're knitting a shawl for something else, like, oh guys, I also joined the Curious Handmade Shawl Society knit along because, oh my goodness, how exciting to be part of a shawl society. And it's a secret society, and it fits perfectly with the Miss Marple knit along. So hey, away we go. If you are knitting that counts too. Let's see your progress. Just watch Miss Marple, then it will totally count. I did get some yarn for one of the giveaways for the Miss Marple knit along that will be happening towards the end of, I'll draw prizes after August 31st. But this was gifted to us by Manos. This is Manos del I can't say it, Uruguay. They're Marina. It's a new lace weight yarn. It is a single strand, and it's super soft. It is, again, it's 100% superwash merino, and it has 874 yards. Isn't that amazing? It's just gorgeous. This reminded me of the ocean. Just the gorgeous, gorgeous blues and bluish greens, and then that dark navy blue. So they sent you a skein, and then they sent me a skein. So I'm going to cast it on, and I will truly tell you how lovely it is to work with. It is so soft. I can't wait to wind this up and cast it on the needles. I think it's going to become one of the Shawl Society shawls. So that will be fun. Oh my, can you tell there's been a lot going on? But it's a lot of fun. It's summer, right? Oh my, well, and a lovely package came in the mail. Look at this. It's umbrellas. It's a project bag. And it is umbrellas to go with the Raindrops knit along. This is from Emma, and she is Knitter's Friend on Instagram. And I think she's Knitter's Friend on Ravelry too. She also has a wonderful Etsy shop, Knitter's Friend, where she sells her lovely project bags. And there are some really cute ones in the shop right now. I just love it. It's a perfect, it's a true drawstring, and it's the perfect sock size. And inside, she sent me the lovely tea that I'm drinking. And she sent me some beautiful stitch markers as well. She sent 2 little owls for the boys, which the boys love. The first night they opened them in the evening, and they both slept with them, which was so cute. But the owls have gone on adventures with us. She sent over a cute little notions pouch, and look at this. This was totally perfect. It's my 2 boys playing with sandcastles and boats, which is exactly what we do. I love it. We go over I live very close to a park that has a big reservoir, and there's a shawl end, and we take our little plastic boats, and I tie string to it, and they wade in the water, and I wade in the water too, because even though you want to let the boys have adventures and be boys, I'm right there just in case. Anyways, we have a lot of fun. We make rivers and harbors for our boats, and we have a lot of fun. I did that with my mom when I was little. She has sweets and sweet little stitch markers in here. Oh, there's one. And the tea, and then all these, look at these. Let me show you. All of these lovely mini skeins. So, I am in mini skein heaven. After having no mini skeins to having a whole bag full of mini skeins. And it's so fun because they're totally different than the mini skeins that I have, and she's tagged each one. Isn't that lovely? The time that she put into this, the thought. Swaps are just amazing because it's a friendship shared over a common love of things. And I don't know about you, but I do have Gina, who's in the city, and Knitspin Farm, but there are not too many really crazy about knitting people in my life, except for you all. And so it's so nice to have you all, and then it's so nice to even do a little swap and get to know one of you wonderful people a little more personally, just so that you don't feel like an odd person who really likes wool and you're the only person out there that really likes wool, but you're not, which is so wonderful to realize. And I don't know, definitely brought a smile to my face. I definitely was in awe. So thank you very much. And if you haven't ever participated in a swap, do it. I don't know, just either join a swap. There's lots of swaps on Ravelry, or even find somebody in our Ravelry group and say, hey, you want to do a swap with me? Because that's what Emma did. She just messaged me and said, hey, you want to do a swap with me? And yeah, let's do it. I've never done one. Let's do it. So she gave me the confidence. I sent a little package off to her last week. So I'm going to do another swap, I think. Well, yes, I have to. I'm joined the podcaster swap that the Spicy Homemaker, which is another sweet podcast out there, she invited me to. Well, I kind of invited myself, didn't I? I did, didn't I? I heard it was going on, and I asked if I could join. So, but then I get to know another podcaster out there. I am matched up with Lydia of the O Loops podcast. So I got to go check out another podcast and watch and listen and learn and see what they're up to. So, oh dear, it's upset at me. I'm on low battery. I better end for now. I'll pick up. I still have to show you my scrap blanket and a few lovely things that I picked up while we were in South Haven. And I think I have another whip in progress to show you. So I shall come back later. Okay, friends, here I am back again. Instead of tea, I'm having a little wine. It's after dinner now, and bedtime. So it's my relaxing time. But I will make a pot of tea after this. I drink tea all the time. Anyways, I was coming back to show you guys, now that my phone is all charged up, the lovely scrap blanket and the progress that I've made. It's getting bigger, which is so much fun. I won't go through and show you square by square what I have added, but I've been adding them on the outside. So I've been adding them across. I'll add one across the top, and then I'll turn it and add a row across the top. And I've been doing the join as you go method that Brownie Knits taught me, and I love it. Definitely makes a difference when you see the progress and see the blanket getting bigger and bigger, rather than just your pile of squares getting bigger and bigger, and knowing that you're going to have to join them all together at some point. So I am having a lot of fun with this. So far, this is mainly the little minis that Brownie Knits gave me for my birthday back in April, and I now need to start adding in some of the ones that Emma gave me. So it's neat how this is going to end up being kind of a friendship blanket, really, made out of friends minis, which is very, very special. So I'm going to go for as long as I have the blue joining yarn. This is just some blue that I had fingering weight in my stash. So using up stash, using up friends minis, and it probably will be lap blanket size or shoulder size. We'll see. We'll see. I have quite a bit of the blue left still, so several skeins to go. But I am enjoying it. It is very relaxing at the end of the night to sit down and crochet a few squares. So that is still in progress. So, and then the last whip is just a sock whip that I have. We all have socks on the needles, right? It's in this adorable chicken bag. Knit Spin Farm, the wonderful Joanna of Knit Spin Farm podcast, and an actual farm. She's an actual farmer, sheep shepherdess. She gave this to me. She gifted it. She came for tea, and she brought me one of her bags, which was so sweet. It's for Arthur's socks. So, because Arthur loves chickens, if you've watched the podcast for any length of time, you know that Arthur loves chickens for some odd reason. The way he says chickens, it's a full body, chickens! Just so funny. But he knows this bag is for him because he was around me when I opened it. And he'll pull up the bag and he'll say, "Look at those chickens! Look at those pretty eggs." Because do you see the eggs have polka dots? He says, "Look at those pretty eggs, Mama." And then he'll say, "What's inside? What's inside?" And I'll say, "Socks for Arthur. Socks for Arthur." So I'm using up the scraps of the Arnie and Carlos sock yarn. I think this is Fall Nights. And I used some contrasting orange in a fingering weight that I had for the heel. And I actually did this heel incorrectly. I did it while I was sick on vacation. And I was supposed to be doing a short row heel. And I did a short row heel, but instead of doing the mirror image, I just did 2 first sections. I don't know if you guys, it's hard to explain. You know how you build the triangle up and then you build the triangle back out to do a short row heel? Well, I just built the triangle up, then I built the triangle up again, but it worked. So, and that is kind of how the sweet tomato heel is by Kat Bordy. She does add another section of it. She does it over a different number of stitches too, so it's not exactly the same. But then I thought, well, I'm going to play around a little bit more with that because it actually could be a roomier heel, a roomier short row heel than the traditional short row heel. So I'm going to play around with that. It looks like a little diaper bottom. Oh dear. But anyways, so I'm working on his little socks, and he knows that they are for him, which is so cute, in the chicken bag. So, and the lovely Joanna does sell her project bags. She has a lovely Etsy shop, and you know that I love her fiber bats, but for those of you who don't spin, her lovely bags, and it's such a generous bag too, I tell you. So I've been very spoiled lately with lovely project bags. So that's it. That's it. And, oh, no. Do you see this right here? I didn't talk about this yet. I have been spinning. Of course, right? I've been spinning some fun things. I splurged, people, and I got myself a blending board to make little row legs of carded loveliness. So I didn't realize that blending boards is the medieval way of carding fiber, or large amounts of fiber, which I thought was very interesting. I didn't know that. But anyways, I have been making wild and crazy, all colors go kind of row legs, and I've been spinning them. It's going to be a 2-ply of just color craziness, and I'm really enjoying it. The fiber is just a generic wool that I got off of Etsy from a shop that was selling a big bag of just different colored fiber. So it's nothing special, but it's fun, and I'm all about the fun. So I just have a little bit more to go, and then I can apply it and see what it's like. So anyways, well, off I go. I am going to start Murder at the Vicarage tonight. Watch that, Miss Marple. It's such a good one. She has her lovely carpet bag in that one too. But anyways, and I hope the postcards arrive soon, and I hope you guys PM me on Ravelry with your addresses, and I'll send out some postcards to you. And I'll try not to write on them so it takes me not so long to send them out. But anyways, so I'll meet you in the group, and keep on knitting. Bye, folks.